Hi, this is Mike Bonfrisco, and welcome to this episode of 2 Minutes with Mike. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about probate and why sometimes you don't want to get yourself appointed to be the executor or administrator of someone's estate. A lot of times folks who are appointed, who are named the executor of someone's estate, or in cases where there's no will, where they're a child of the deceased, they will immediately think that they should run down to the surrogate's court and get themselves appointed right away. But the truth is, sometimes they want to be a little bit more cautious than that. Before you get yourself appointed, you'd want to check with an attorney. Let me tell you a story about something that happened recently in our office. So a client of mine named Paul called me about a month after his father had passed away and proceeded to tell me that he got appointed to be the administrator of his dad's estate. And so in doing so, he now is responsible for taking care of all the debts and making sure the assets are distributed properly. But here was the problem. The house that his dad lived in, while he owned, also had a big mortgage on it. So at the end of the day, there was no equity in the house. And while there were a few bank accounts, there were also lots of debts. There were medical debts and credit cards that far exceeded the value of those small bank accounts. At the end of the day, there's going to be no assets to distribute to family. In fact, the only people who are going to get anything out of this estate are the banks and the credit card companies and the debts that were owned by the deceased. So what should Paul have done? Well, the first thing he should have done was not get himself appointed right away. He should have been cautious, because now his responsibility is to those banks and creditors. What's worse is he's going to probably be doing this job for free, or having to spend money out of his pocket in order to hire an attorney to get himself out of this estate. He's going to have to put a lot of effort and time and energy and probably money out of his own pocket in order to finish up this estate, which he probably should have avoided completely. Before you jump in and get yourself appointed to be the executor or administrator of an estate, you should consult with a qualified attorney.